Okay. Makosi, Tobela, Ndawe, Ewela, and Kamagu, Makadi, Zikomo, Mulumele. Yes, and Hanya. All right, we're going to talk about the dreams. Okay. All right. Makosi's Po and Tobela Tandi. All right. So since we're talking about dreams, that shows, well, I actually don't want to talk about dreams specifically. I just want to talk about training process. I've done a video about what happens when ancestors are taking us to the initiation school. This is not dream school, right? It's not like you've been taken to university, you're being taken to secondary school, or you see yourself in primary school. This is more of like intense kind of training. It's where ancestors are going to be training you, they're going to be initiating you. So it is similar to taking you to, it's similar to going to a healer practice where you're going to be training from the beginning and everything is done like physically as you do things when you utwasa, when you're twassing, when you're initiating, when you're with the Gobela and others, when you're being helped by Gobela, or you're helped by different Gobelas. Now, we're going to talk about what actually happens in this training and who is actually training you. A lot of people who are self-initiating, people with mentors, this is where they will take you to initiation school through the dreams. So the process will be through the dreams. So it will be done in order, but in an orderly way, but through dreams. As well, what they are okay. First, before I talk about this, remember that we need to trust our ancestors, spirits, and guides. These are the people who will be taking us to these schools, and these are the people who will be training us. So your training is not going to be the same as another person's training sometimes, depending on the culture, your ancestors and their culture. When I'm talking about that, I mean that. Remember that as people, we've got different ancestors from different background, meaning that you might be Umxhosa, but you might find that your ancestors are Bapedi, or your ancestors are Bashona, or your ancestors are from somewhere else, right? Somewhere else in Africa. So it means that the training will be done by those ancestors. Now, they will be teaching you in your language, but sometimes they will put in the language that they speak, because remember that they want to teach you about their culture, their tradition, right? So a lot of things will be done in that way. There might be many languages there because they want you to understand different kind of languages when they're teaching you. Okay? And remember that when they are teaching you in a language that you do not understand, they will come and explain the language to you, what they mean by certain things. Like certain things are not going to be called, okay, example. You might find that your Wapedi ancestors might call this something else. Your Zulu ancestors might call this different name, or your Xhosa ancestors might call this something different, or Tsonga ancestors might call this different, right? So they'll be teaching you about why they do that. Anyway, I'm starting too fast. Let's relax. Who is there? Thelma, Tobela, Ndawe, Tamagu. Yes. So the training. Remember that at the beginning, they will have shown you that you're going for a training. You're going to a school. When I'm saying school, I'm not talking about primary, secondary, university, right? They are taking you to initiation school, traditional ones. but they will make you understand it in the language that you'll understand now. They will use your frame of reference, meaning that if you're going to a school where you're going to be with a lot of people, like let's say Komeng, so instead of them saying you're going to the mountain, they might just say to you, you are going to a boarding school. But when you get to the boarding school, you realize that, as you can see, you're actually sleeping in huts, right? Where they will be taking you, depending as well where they are taking you. Remember that everything that is done there, it is educational. It is not just done just because they want to take you there. Some of our ancestors, they used to be big in initiation schools. They used to run initiation schools. Some of our ancestors used to go overseas to learn different medicinal stuff, right? When I'm saying overseas, they used to take other healers. They will go across the border, before borders, right? They will cross over to the other side of Africa, right? So they can go with their initiate to learn a different particular, whatever it is that they were learning at that particular time, like a plant for a disease or stuff like that. So they'll be going on those trips, like they're going on tour with their initiate to learn those things. So they will do certain things like that with us as well, as they're training us. So you'll find that you are just going there to learn about this particular thing that is very important on your spiritual path. You might not understand it now when it is happening, but you'll understand it later on as things are being revealed to you about your purpose, what your ancestors are going to be helping you with, especially when it comes to medicine, right? To treat different kind of diseases. So you understand it as time goes on. Now, we are talking about the training process, what actually happens there. Now, you arrived, you settled, you can see it's either you're with all women or it's either you're mixed, because it depends. Some, just all women, it's just all women. Some, they'll even tell you that this is all women training. You'll see there when you're training there. Sometimes it is mixed, women and men training. But remember, if they're going to be teaching you about the reason why certain women cannot actually even mix with those women, why some spiritual knowledge or some spiritual things are done by just only female, or depending on who you are with there. Secretive things, right? So they will show you if this is something that includes different people from different parts of Africa. Let's say maybe there are secretive things that you're going to be learning there. Obviously, they'll show you what is happening, right? So you will see even in the training, in your training, that this is different. It is special. It is one of those things that they call secret kind of training. Like what they call it, I think they told me before, the knowledge that is only the few will understand what it means, right? So you're being trained with other African people from different parts of Africa. Each person carries a different kind of knowledge that they have to take to their part of Africa. The others will take it to the other part. The others will take it to the other part. The other will take it to the other part. Sometimes there are even rituals, big rituals there that you'll be learning in those places, right? It depends on the kind of training that you're being taken there for, right? It depends what you're going to be learning there. Now, when it comes to the training as well, it doesn't only come with just that knowledge. Remember as well, you'll have your own weaknesses, right? So your weaknesses will be shown during the training, because remember that as you're training on how to do certain things, learning about medicine as well, they will be correcting that bit of you. Life skill kind of training. Remember, not only are you there to learn, as well you have to learn something about yourself that needs to be corrected, because if you're going to come out there as a great healer, there are certain things about you that needs to be right, you need to be good, right? So they will correct you in that way. Now, when it comes to who you'll be training with, now, a lot of us, we get so confused, especially people who just think that because they're speaking a particular language and the ancestors who are coming to them, right? They are different, they speak a different language in the, now, let's say you are like me, you speak Sotho, right? Then you've got ancestors in there teaching you, taking you to training, and they'll be teaching you about the culture of the Xhosa culture, right? So people get confused there because sometimes they are training you, but as you're training, there will be other people, Basotho people there as well, training, but they are not for you. They'll be training there. You'll be seeing the people who are speaking the language that you normally are used to, speaking the language that you're used to, but then you're trained with others who are speaking the language that you don't actually understand properly, your ancestors' language. But they're showing you the differences that Basotho will do their things like this. Like, you know, right? Basotho will do their things like this. The Basotho female will do their things like this when they are doing other things. I'm talking about cultural things. They will do things like this in those dreams when they're teaching you. But us, the ones who are training you, we do things like this. Because remember, they're your ancestors. They're letting you know about your culture that you were not even aware of. So they're teaching you different ways of different people doing different things, but not what you're used to. They're teaching you about new things, right? Even the way you dress. Sometimes you see you'll be looking at others dress up in the clothes that you are, like in your culture, in our tradition, we wear this kind of clothes. Then you realize there you're not dressed up like them, you're dressed up like the group that you're with. Because remember, these are initiation schools. They are taking you so far away, but you're going to be training with different people. Remember that it depends on the kind of training that you'll be doing there. So don't get confused and start in those dreams. You get lost by going with the group that is not assigned to you. A lot of people get lost in those dreams. It's serious stuff, this is what I'm talking about. So when you're being trained in a particular tradition, like with your Zulu ancestors are training you, don't get lost when you see other people like Basotho, the Xhosas there, and start getting confused. It's because they want you to run the Indumba, the Zulu way, because these are your ancestors, the Zulu ones. Now, even the Basotho one, when they want you to run their Lefetlolabona in Sotho, they will teach you their own way of how to run the Lefetlo. Remember that we are carrying different ancestors, and it will be shown even in the way that we dance differently in those dreams, because each set of ancestors, they will want you to learn and be good with the way that they do their things. And when they come out, they want you to show that you're carrying the ancestors who dance like this from that particular part of the world, of Africa, right? Because they're showing off, isn't it? So you're going to be like there with your family, and they're there watching you dancing, and they're asking themselves, how come you're dancing like the Congolese? Yeah, we didn't even know that you've got Congolese ancestors. But it's because your Congo ancestors would have trained you the way that they want you to dance for them, especially when they come out, when they train you. Anyway, let's greet you. Let's see how you guys are. And then we'll continue talking. Okay. Gosh, I needed to get a second phone, isn't it? I can't see properly. That's my eyes now. All right. We are not in a rush. Gogo Tuli Tobela Sila. Oh, okay. Okay. It is important to note that the schooling system and university originate from ancient Africa, Timbuktu, and so 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 the dreams, they may be channeling from very ancient times, not just the grandparents. Very true, very true. That is what we're talking about. Remember that in those schools, they are trying to teach us about our cultures. So they will go further up. Remember that they don't want us to lose that bit of ourselves. They don't want us to forget who we are. So in order for us to not forget, to remember who we are, we have to go back to our roots. That's why they take us to those schools. That's why you see us going to the real Koma, the real initiation. When I'm saying the real initiation school, I mean, you see when you get there that this is like serious ancient things that are happening there. You'll be running around there in the bushes as a female or as a man, chasing things. You will understand why we've got different kind of names. You'll understand why we even have, why we wear this ancestral cloth in those training, because they will teach you about the reason why they do select certain cloth for different healers, why certain healers are called by this name, and why when you go up the rank as a healer, you are called by this particular name, right? Now, and as well, if you're the people who are training you, let's say maybe you, like, I'll give you an example with me, with the Basotho ancestors training me. Now, most of the Basotho ancestors who were training me were the male. So meaning that the male who were running initiation school for men. So when they were training me, they will teach me about the names of healers who will be guarding the initiates, the male initiates. And you will see even those who are even coming to inspect, the name of those healers who are even coming to inspect, even the healers there initiating those male healers, right? So it depends as well who is training you and who is taking you to that school. If it is a female as well, you'll see, and they'll give you names and they will explain things to you properly in order. Now, when it comes to the kind of training that we learn in them, remember that even the way that we used to build our houses, they will explain some of the reasons why we build houses like that, and why you will see even men and men doing particular things, women doing particular things, like tasks that are performed by female around the community and tasks that are performed by male only around the community, and the reason for such. Because remember, they want us to remember who we are, so we don't forget and start being too modernized. But a lot of things that used to happen can help us at this particular moment in time, because the things that we are doing now, sometimes they take us off the right path. And when I'm saying the right path, it means we start behaving in strange ways that when we are being looked at, we are not functioning as we're supposed to function. We become dysfunctional as communities and as families because of things that we have adopted that don't suit us. I'm talking about other people's cultures. Anyway, we don't want to go there. We're going to talk about training. All right. Okay. All right. Matlaga Togoza, Gogo, you okay. You are forgiven for being late, since you look it's beautiful. Togoza, I apologize. I apologize. I apologize. Yes, I apologize. You know, this it's not easy. It's not easy. Okay, Gogo, Gogo Tuli, I have okay. I have encouraged individuals who will say, but my parents, grandparents, and great grandparents were not educated. Ancestors years old. We still have people who are still. What are we talking about? That remember that a lot of this conditioning has made some of us really forget our people's intelligence. And sometimes when we think that you see it a lot, even with the way that people will think someone speaking better English, and speaking their language, not being able to speak it properly, like their indigenous language, not being able to speak properly, they kind of like think that that is a nice thing to look at. Okay, I'm sorry, I apologize. Sometimes I don't have it. Right? Yeah, sometimes you see people think that it is a nice thing or is a good thing when it is not. It is lack of intelligence, because if we were intelligent and really intelligent, we will want to be who we are, meaning that even our languages will be encouraged. But our ancestors, they keep us going by teaching us these languages, even from the greetings. You see, when we say Ndawe, Tobela, Togoza, that is them reminding us of who we are, making sure we don't forget that bit. And in those schools as well, they will teach you how to greet them the right way. The right way. And the reason why we greet in that particular way as healers, right? They will teach you about that. Okay, so just the other night I had that school dream, as if I'm supposed to be taking my sons to school to get him a uniform. Funny enough, I'm seeing skirts for girls. All right, it is a different kind of school, this one. Now, how I'm saying is different is, remember that when ancestors are taking you to normal schools or normal universities or when I'm saying normal schools, I'm talking about the things that you know. They show you being in class, learning, right? Or they show you being in somewhere. Remember as well, it depends. If they taking you to primary school, it means basic, right? Secondary school, at that particular time, depending on what it is that they're teaching you. If it is something new, basic. But if it is about correcting you, basic, right? So if they're taking you to secondary school, they know the level of understanding will be like a secondary school student. So they'll be gentle with you. Oh, I mean, in primary school, they'll be gentle with you. In secondary school, they are aware that as a secondary school student, you know that you're supposed to do things as you're being told to do. They don't have to follow you around, right? Then when you're being taken to uni, that means your ancestors, they know that when they give you information, you need to do research, because you're in an advanced level. So you should be able to understand certain things, right? This is different from what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about, it is proper, you're taken to Gome. It's not just the schools that just comes in, especially when they just want to make you aware of something, or maybe they introduce you to something. That is totally different. What I'm talking about is more than that. When you're going to that school, when you finish, you graduate differently than when you finish normal primary school, secondary school, and university, right? That one will just graduate and get excited and get our degrees, get things like that. So when they're taking you to Komeng Yabungak, Initiation School of Healers, when you finish, they have to be something done for you by your family, or you have to do something for yourself with your family. Remember, if I'm talking to self-initiate, this happens a lot to people who are self-initiating. When you come back from there, you have to show that you're coming back to work as a healer. You cannot come back and sit down and say, you're still training, you don't know what is happening, you're still trusting. We will trust, I will continue trusting others. But if they are taking you there, that means when you finish, we have to see that you finish. You're going to finish and be running your own practice. You cannot finish and be like, you still don't understand what is happening with you. You come back and you run your own practice, because that's what you were going there for. You went there so that you can be taught how you're supposed to come back and run the practice that your ancestors think you should be running. Remember that our practices are not the same. Our indumbas are not supposed to be operating the same way. What I mean by that is that it depends what you're going to be doing when you finish training as that healer who went to that initiation school of healers, right? The kind of healer you are going to be. It doesn't mean that everyone has to go there and come back, graduate. When I'm saying graduate, like show everyone that they are now operating as a healer, fully functioning healer, and then After that, you have to have the Mathwasana coming to you. Not everyone works like that. It depends. It will depend on the training that you were there for and what you're gonna be doing. Right? I'm repeating myself. I tend to do that. Okay, Nozipho Thobela. Okay, Gogo Tuli said what? Oh, do you have any ancestors who were school teachers? Sometimes kids also look, also that, okay, sometimes, what? Also that look into who the teachers in your lineage. Gogo Tuli, what are you talking about? Okay, all right. Yes, I do. My partner side, it was full of teachers. Hello, Mkulu, Debbie Thobela. Okay. Remember, when you're being taken to school, most healers, all healers, even if you're not a healer, you'll be taken to school. Even if you're not a healer, even if it's just someone coming to you and wanting to know something about why they are experiencing problems at work. I'm talking about someone coming to a healer, consulting. Why am I experiencing problems at work? The ancestors of that person, if they want that person to learn something, if there is something about that person that is making them struggle at their workplace, they will take them to school, because in school we will know that we will be able to observe ourselves properly in a learning environment. It doesn't necessarily mean that the ancestors were teachers. It just means that you're going to be observing yourself in a learning environment. You know that there you're supposed to be learning about something. So you're going to observe yourself properly, because that is the point of being taken to that particular school. Now, the reason why they will show us that, sometimes they'll show you that you're learning there as like you're a student, or they will show you that according to how they're looking at you, you are in a teacher, you should be in a teacher role, because you are able to, even in practice, they see that you are able to make people understand certain things about life, right? So they'll put you in a teacher role. So it doesn't necessarily mean that. But anyway, we're not talking about school dreams. Anyway, okay, so we're going to, all right. Okay, 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 all right. Togoza Mandlake, okay, Togozani Makosi. I want to know something. Does it happen that some gifted children suffer in relationship because spiritually they're already married, especially water children? Married in what way? Married in what way? Okay, okay. Gogo Tulis answering for the Gogo Tuli, please, let's refrain from. Remember that when we're talking to people on this live session, we need to be guided by our ancestor spirits and guides. We are not in this live session to be giving people consultation when it is not necessary. People are supposed to ask for permission from their people before you can go deep into what is happening with them. Because remember that as we're coming into this in this live session, a lot of us, although we want to know a lot of things, we will have permission to our people so that we can understand things properly. Now, as self-initiates, what we're supposed to refrain from doing, we're supposed to refrain from inserting ourselves in other people's lives without permission from their ancestors, because we will mislead others. Now, when we come on this live session, what we're trying to do is help each other understand things that we are experiencing. But remember, we should always advise people to go back to their ancestors so that they can get answers, proper answers. Remember that we should be doing that. And remember, as self-initiate as well, when you're talking to your ancestors in dreams, your ancestors are speaking to you in dreams. Do not, I repeat, do not be taking your ancestors in all over the places confusing your ancestors with messages that are not important for them. Your ancestors will direct you towards the people who are supposed to be helping you if they need to. Otherwise, they will come and give you answers themselves. If you go back to ask for their answers, if you reflect back to them, they will give you the answers. That is the reason why they will even take us to these schools, because the reason why they're doing it like that, they want to be the ones doing these kind of things with us. Not anyone doing it, but them, the way that they know how to do it. That's why they're taking us to school. Otherwise, they would have taken us to others. Now, the reason why I share this, I do these live sessions and share them like this, is because I know a lot of us are confused when we see a lot of things like this happening to us. We don't understand it. We don't know what is happening. We would love to actually have a clue of what is happening. We are not here to take everything that I'm saying. I'm here to just give you a clue of what actually happens to some of us who are self-initiating, right? Those who are self-initiating, that these things will happen to us because we are not sent to someone. Now, when you're sent to a mentor, this will continue happening because your ancestors are training you. They will give you all this information. Your mentor, what will your mentor do? Will be explaining things according to how your ancestors are giving out information. The mentor is not there to insert her own information or her ancestors' information. The mentor will be giving you information and explaining it from your ancestors as they are giving it to the mentor in your dreams. That is how self-initiation works. Self-initiation works like that. You are self-initiating with your ancestors. You seek help from others, but the people who are giving you information are your ancestors. Outside, you want to understand what is actually happening, not to take everything. Even if you're given something from outside, you still go back to your ancestors. My ancestors, can this be right? Can this be, is this what you mean by what I was hearing out there? So that your ancestors, they put in information. Now, when you're self-initiating, ancestors, what they tend to do is that they will give information to the mentor that you're going to, and they will give information to you. But what happens is that because remember, they want to connect you, they will give you a little bit of something. They'll give you number one, you're carrying number one. Then your mentor will come with number two. Together, you come with number three. So when you're saying, I've got number one, and your mentor said, I've got number two, that correspond, and you've got number three, the whole thing fit together. Because that's how they want to work with us as self-initiate. So the reason why I'm sharing this is just, please remember, when we are self-initiating, and as healers here, remember, we need to guide the self-initiate to go back to the ancestors. That's what we are doing here. Because otherwise, a lot of self-initiate, sometimes they get lazy. They want to rely on others instead of relying on their ancestors. Therefore, making mistakes along the way, delaying the process and frustrating the ancestors, which is what we don't want to do. That's why when we go to those schools, initiation schools of healers, everything will be revealed to us as it's supposed to be revealed to us, nicely and gently for us. Okay. All right. The reason why I'm saying this is because I'm seeing something there that it is being said and it doesn't correspond with what I know. Since I'm doing this, it doesn't make sense. And what I'm saying doesn't correspond is just that a lot of people can take one particular thing and say it means this when it doesn't actually mean one particular thing. It's different things. It's got different versions of it, right? The same way as sometimes when you go to people, they say you've got someone on this side, someone on that side, and they make it a norm. Self-initiation means that our ancestors, they want to correct the wrongs that are done by others. So they want to be the ones making sure that if anything at all goes wrong, it is their responsibility. They're the ones making wrong things, but they correct them on the spot. Because you're their child, they want to make sure that you excel out there as a healer. All right. So we from that, Thobela Gabriel, hello. Okay. All right. So we were there. Okay. All right. Okay, spot on about greetings and okay, language I see and so carries knowledge, knowledge whereas hello does not. I'm elaborating here for clear understanding for all. Okay, are you in Nigeria? Okay, what religion are you? Stop clapping. Okay. Spo, please talk about going to extramural school too, like ballet, karate, swimming lessons. Okay, I'm leaving. This is boring. Okay, bye-bye. I'm with you. Makes sense. Go. Okay. All right. Mbuya Banda, Makosi Gogo, Makadi. Oh, what did I do? Okay. Looking good. Best mentor ever. I truly appreciate you. Thank you, Mbuya. So I do get award ceremonies in my dreams. Okay, all right, that's interesting. Okay, Gogo Chili said, okay. Okay, I think I'll do this video on its own. I'll do this, what I'm talking about, separate, because this video is going to be a lot with a lot of information in. Okay, what I was talking about is that if you had a teacher who is now an ancestor, they may show up in school settings sometimes. New life lessons are beginning, and we see such is not always into us. Gogo Chuli, I think there's something that you don't understand with what I'm saying. No one is talking about Ntwaso. Like I said, I explain it properly. School dreams, my family members, if they need advice from me, I tell them to go back to ancestors. Remember, we share ancestors. So they'll go to ancestors. If they need to be corrected, they'll be taken to school. Now, if someone comes out who I do not know, they need help with something, and they're lacking something about them. Let's say they've got boundary issues, and they're lacking that boundary. Sometimes ancestors will take them to different settings. School is just a setting. It is nothing to do with Ntwaso. It has nothing to do with initiation. It is just a setting where you're supposed to observe yourself. Now, the same way as when you're taken to a restaurant, it is just a setting where you're supposed to observe yourself, because in restaurant, people eat. In school, people study. So the same way as you'll be taken to doctor's surgery, it is a setting. You go to a doctor's surgery when you're sick. It is a setting. So the reason there could be that ancestors want to show you something about you going there, what it is that you're going there for. Right? It is a setting. Right? Now, what I'm talking about here is bigger than that. We're not talking about schools there. We're talking about initiation school of healers. Right? Where healers are going to be trained. That is what we're talking about here. Healers are going there to train on how to work with other healers, how to work with patients coming in, how to work with their communities, how to work with their kings, if they're those healers, with the Makosi healers, how to work with their chiefs, how to work with, how to carry these important things about their communities, the knowledge that, let's say you're carrying, as a historian healer, things that happened with that community that they need to be repeated. People need to be aware of things that have happened, because those things that have happened, there are certain things that are currently happening with that community, that those past things that have happened in the past can help guide the community going forward, because they will use what has happened before. So we are going there as healers in training, right? Healers in training is a totally different thing. It is not a school or university just because your ancestors, they're telling you that you are at that level as a healer. Remember that this channel is not for others, it's for self-initiate. These lessons are for self-initiated. They are not for anything. So we're going to be talking about the initiation. We're going to be talking about self-initiate. We're going to be talking about healers in training or healers with gobelas, because that is what this is all about. This channel is about that. It's not about everything. Everyone comes in, we want to know what happens and stuff. Others will explain them, because we want others to understand what it is that we are learning as healers as well. If they are coming in, we will let them know that this is other things. They mean this, they mean that, right? Like when it comes to school dreams. When it comes to school dreams, you do not have to go too far. You need to understand what role are you playing there in that environment, right? What it is that it is you're playing there. You understand? And it is related to what is happening on a day-to-day basis. Now they are taking you out from your daily base, your daily life, like your waking state. Now they are taking you to the dream school, so you can learn about things that you were not aware of that are happening on the day-to-day about you and others. It will depend. Now, if it is a school where the new gifts are coming in, so now they want you to be aware that the new gifts are coming in, but then those people, they want you to go and learn about something. You need to correct something about yourself, so that that spirit, when it comes in, is fully functioning. You will be ready for it. It is a different thing, that one. So we're talking about totally different thing. Now, this is nothing to do with that. Now, this is us healers going to initiation school, because you're going to train, you're going to come back as a fully functioning healer. You are going there as, now let's go European. You're going to a school where you're going to be training as a doctor. You're going to come back and you're going to treat patients. Now, remember that you'll be training as well, working with others, because a lot of us is training in practice, right? So now, as doctors, you'll be in hospital practicing as you're learning. But now we're going to our ancestors now, ancestor spirits and guides. Now we're forgetting Western life. Now your ancestors are training you on how to deal with your community using the ancient things that they used to use. They're showing you that we used to operate like this. Right? We used to operate like this. The reason why we do this, the reason why you even see me wearing this, it means that, because they don't want you coming on a live session and wearing this and not understanding what you're wearing and where is this coming from. They will show you how they get this thing and they create these things for you to wear. So you'll see your ancestors chasing things in those dreams, and they catch them and they show you how it is done. Right? Because they're teaching you about how things are done. Right? That is why they are taking you to Initiation School of Healers. Initiation School of Healers, Batu. And for this happens a lot with self-initiate. Self-initiate. So they will show you things that are happening now, like in real life. If, let's say, you come to me here, the first thing I do is I welcome you with your family, and I do things outside the door. Your ancestors, they will show you when you get there that these are the kind of things you will do. People will open, they will welcome you at the door with your family, and this is why they do that. They will teach you that the reason why we do that is for these reasons. And the reason why we separate you from others for couple of days, maybe 3 days, is for this reason, right? That is this Initiation School of Healers, where you're going to be learning on how to be a healer. Now, when you are like a copy and paste like me, everything that they show you and they teach you, which is ancient there, you're going to be using them to practice. Remember that some of us, like I am in diaspora, I have never actually known anything about healers. I didn't grow up with traditional healers in my family. I've never actually learned about those things. So my ancestors have to take me to Initiation School of Healers so that I understand everything that happens. So that even me, when I start operating, working with others, I will use the information from the ancestors that they taught me in the school during the training, and I will use it physically with others. And then you'll be like, how come you've never gone somewhere like to a Gobela and stuff, physical Gobela, and you know how to do those things? It's because ancestors who have taken me to initiation school of healers. Now, they will even teach you on how to build your own practice room, meaning that how to make it, create it the way that it will suit you and your ancestors, the color that they will want. You and your ancestors will want the colors that they want. They will tell you why they even select those colors, because it is for you and your ancestors. And the reason why certain things are put in that particular corner for you and your ancestors, why it is not the same as Moholo things, right? So they will teach you about those things. The same way as you see these colors that I have here, these are the colors that my ancestors wanted. So they had to show me the reason why they want these colors and why those colors will work for me and my own Indumba. So that is why we are taken to initiation school of healers. Okay, so that is what we're talking about here. Okay. With your questions, Paul, you can ask your ancestors that question and they will tell you. You ask them, if I'm self-initiating, they will answer you. Remember that ancestors, it is very important for them to make sure that you understand everything that is happening with you and them. So if at any times you're confused about certain things, you need to ask them. You need to ask your ancestors. They will reply to you, especially if they know that you are really confused, you do not know something, you do not understand something. They will reply to you. Now, the only time sometimes things can be confusing is that when they reply to you, maybe you do not understand certain messages that they're giving you with their replies, right? But for you to work better with them is that when you don't understand even the reply, you need to tell them in your own way, explain it to them. Explain to them that you do not understand, you understand the message like this, so that they can see where you're struggling. They can see what it is that makes you misunderstand the message, right? When you're reflecting back to them, they will see that you're lacking like this. They wouldn't know what you're lacking like if you don't tell them that this is how I see this. I see this as red. Your ancestors will have to look in your eyes. They need to look at your third eye to understand what it is that when they're showing you something, some colors, you don't see them as they're showing them to you, so that they can work with you to correct that bit. They can work around with you so that you look at the things that they want you to look at the way that they want you to look at them, right? As self-initiate, that is the most important thing. We reflect back to the ancestors, and then they correct us. And then if still when they're correcting us, we are still struggling, they are not impatient with us. They will never be impatient with us. Remember that they are training and working with us, and they want us to understand them better and to be best versions of ourselves, because we are representing them. Through us, they will excel, right? Ancestors, they want us to see us doing better. So they will make sure that you do as you're supposed to, and you go further than you think you go as far as some of them, they haven't even managed to go too far. So they want you to go far than they've done when they were still alive. So as far as you go as well, spiritually, they will go far. Remember, the two have to correspond. Anyway, okay, okay, yes. Okay. Yes, you're right. Google Tuli. Yes. And yes, some school or learning setting dream point towards spiritual initiation, just as with snakes. A person from the Majola clan may see snakes that are totems, discernment and intuition are key. Maybe took a session with the most for deeper clarity. Okay. All right. Kendra, what does dreaming with a leopard mean? We'll talk about that another time. Khanya from Limpopo. Khanya Witumelo. Okay. All right. Yes. Settings. Okay. All right. My apologies for limiting the conversation to the setting in the. Okay. I get where you're at now. Okay. Go. I dreamt of receiving a certification in school. What does it mean? All right. Okay. For the channel. Got it. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. Aluta continua, Gogo. All right. Okay. All right. Witumelo. All right. Now, the difference between school of healers, initiation school of healers, and the school that you get certificate, right? Going to school, getting certificate is just sometimes your ancestors just making you aware that what you've been doing there, you've done well. So they have to show you, right? If they've taken you to school, they have to show you that after school, most of us, if you go to secondary school, after secondary school, you get certificate, right? They will show you, the certificate will show you as well that you were learning Sotho, you were learning, as in the language, you were learning maths, you were learning history. Remember, because obviously, even in real life, you correspond with what it is that is happening in real life. What is it about maths? What is it about Sotho? What is it about history? Now, as healers to be, healers in training, remember that you will be, if you're a traditional healer, obviously you'll be culture and stuff like that, right? Your language is very important, right? So when it comes to maths, we know maths is about doing the calculations and stuff like that, right? So how are you doing out there? How are you getting on? Remember, as a healer, you need to be able to count as well. You need to be able to do the measurement. Your ancestors have told you that you do this powder, 2 spoons, or if they're like ours now, ancestors now, they even give us meals. How many meals that muti is supposed to be if it's watered one, right? They will tell you. So you need to be able to calculate, right? So you need to be able to understand geography. Where are you? Where are you going to get the muti? Which part of the world is it going to be, right? So they will show you that you were getting confused with this in real life. So now we've corrected you. You excel in maths, you excel in geography, you excel in Sotho, you excel in English, right? Depending on what it is that was happening with you in real life. So you excel in this. So you've done well in all this. Congratulations, you've passed. There's your certificate. So to show you, because with certificates, you can see that this, you've got this marks, you've got this mark, you've got this mark. If you've got 50 out of 100, then you know that, well, I did well, but I could do better, right? Now, if you remember that as healers in training, you want to do as good as you can, right? You want your ancestors to actually be correct about the way they do their things. But sometimes they can even give you a certificate showing you something that, if you look at it, the marks, they don't correspond with what you know in real life. Because remember that it depends what it is that they're correcting. If you know that you've done well and you don't correct your ancestors, you don't go back to your ancestors and tell them that that certificate doesn't make any sense. This cannot be the reality of things because I believe I'm like this. Because it could be that they're checking you on. They're checking you because obviously you're lacking that bit. You cannot. Your throat chakra is still closed. You cannot express yourself as you're supposed to express yourself. You see things that are not right. The teacher has marked you this. The teacher was just trying to see if you're going to be telling the teacher that this is not right, right? I'm talking about corresponding with real life. Because in real life, you'll be lacking the throat chakra, will be a problem. So they're giving you marks. You've never seen yourself going to school. You just see yourself at school, the marks a subject that you know very well that you're supposed to be excelling in, they show you that is 0. So what do? You just go and lie down with that. Now, a person with an open throat chakra, working in being in balance with other chakras, will be able to express, ancestors, what does this even mean? When did you even take me to school? How come I'm getting this? What is actually happening here? So that they can explain things to you, because now throat chakra is opening. Depending on what you're there for, this is what I'm saying. When it comes to school setting, everything has a reason. When you see yourself sitting in class, it's got a reason. When you see yourself getting results, it's got a reason. When you see yourself graduating, it's got a reason. You understand? So what role are you playing in there? And what does it say about you? Is it okay? Does it show the true self, your true self? And are you okay with everything that is happening there? That is totally different. Now, when they're taking you to School of Healers, then it's different. When we graduate, it's going to be serious stuff. That is when you see. Now, your ancestors will show you what they expect you to do for their graduation. Right? Because remember, they've taken you to Komen, Initiation School of Healers. When a healer comes back from their initiation school, what do they do when they get home? They do not just sit down with their certificate. The whole community have to know that this healer has done the training, right? The healer was away from home, right? You were away because you were in the dream state. They've taken you away from your home, right? So now you're coming back to home. Even in the dream state, they will show you. Now you're coming back from your training. Now we expected this. Now that's when they will show you. Start teaching you about how you're going to be dancing for them with your community, because depending on the kind of healer you're going to be, if you're going to be the dancing one with the drums, or you're going to be the one who comes in and be received with clapping hands, right? Because remember that not everyone is dancing like with drums, or not everyone is dancing. Not everyone comes back and do things that we know other healers to do. Some healers, when they are coming back from the initiation school of healers, the way they are brought back home is not the same as other healers. It's different. That is why we are learning about different cultures and different way of doing things culturally for that particular tribe. The one who were training you, the one whose your ancestors from that tribe were training you using that particular thing. Saliva. Now, we're still talking about the training. When it comes to training, right? Remember that as a healer, it depends. You're supposed to, a healer is supposed to be protecting the community, right? Traditional healer. I'm talking about traditional. I'm not talking about now that we are no longer seeing things done as they used to be done traditionally, right? Now, a traditional healer is supposed to be able to protect, meaning that you're seeing things that are not right within the community. You're supposed to alert the community, because as a traditional healer, that is the things, right? Communities are supposed to be healed, and they're supposed to be protected from outside things that are not right, right? Now, you see in those training that your ancestors will be showing you. Remember that in the olden days, there used to be people, when I'm talking about people, soldiers, but traditional ones, right? What Mama had, I think that's what they call it in the Kasut. Those who go, they'll go to protect the whole village. They'll protect the whole villages, right? Those men and women, what they call them, the warriors, will be protecting the family, the villages and stuff like that. Now, when they're taking you to those schools, you'll be learning about what it was like in the olden days, the those ones, right? How they used to train, to protect the community. Like I'm saying, it depends on who is training you. So they'll show you that they used to protect the community like this. They used to be an army, African traditional army, working like this. So you'll be there in the bushes or wherever you're training, and you'll be seeing yourself dressed up like those people in the olden days, training. Now, when it comes to that kind of training as well, remember that it will depend on where you are lacking in real life. You are lacking in real life. Now, if you've got problem boundary-wise, it will be corrected during the training. If you've got problems like expressing yourself, it will be corrected during the training. Right? It doesn't just happen, you don't just see yourself in the traditional army for no reason, just because you need to train on how to run the way that they used to run, the men and women traditionally dressed up traditionally in those things and running like that, wearing some beautiful things with the what they call it, you know, how they used to dress up like things like this actually, but not like this, but beautiful things, the way they created them on their head. You see the way they wear them. So they will be making sure that you understand that you're in the training, but as well, we are looking at this about you. Remember that when you go back to work with others, you need to be working as you're supposed to, the way that your people want you to be like. Very strong. Very strong. So there will be a lot of things happening there. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. So that is that. Thobela Rajmata and okay. Excuse me. Okay, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Rajmata. Okay, that's beautiful. I'll talk about, I'll do a video about school dreams, and you guys can share your dreams. And we'll talk about how they sometimes look at them, right? The school dreams, not the same as what I'm talking about here. The direct setting kind of school dreams, where sometimes, and remember, sometimes in these school dreams, you're not only just going there to school, your ancestors as well, you're attending with them because you're learning with them. So we'll talk about those ones properly, because with school dreams, it's too many, too much happening there. Because not only are you learning as a healer, your ancestors as well, they have to go to school, especially if those ones who cannot express themselves properly. There is a problem with expression there. You'll see yourself going there with them, in the school, in the class with them. The mother and child going into the classroom. So we'll talk about them properly, because with school dreams is big. When I'm guided, I'll talk about them. All right. Okay. Okay. Oh, where was I? All right. About copy and paste, one ancestor showed up in a dream duplicating, copying and pasting my healer outfit. That day, I knew exactly where I got it from. After a year, just copying and pasting. Okay. Yeah, I learned how to read bones from this same copied and paste ancestor. She began showing up and explaining. I will wake up and go copy and paste. Okay. All right. All right. Please add extramural sports school dreams to that video. Okay, we'll do that. I've just learned about being strategic as a healer from a different angle. Yes, Mbuya. Yes, yes. Yes, it's beautiful. These school dreams are very important. Remember that, okay, when I'm saying school dreams, I think I need to change the heading here because we might get confused. As self-initiate, remember we might get confused with this because school dreams, some of us will always go to school. Even me, I go to school a lot, right? I go to school a lot. Sometimes I go to school even with my mentees, with my matrasa. I go to school with them. So school dreams are very different, right? They are very different from what we're talking about here. You'll be learning, we are learning a lot of things in those school dreams. And most of the time as well, they come a lot, especially when people are asking for permission for their ancestors to come to me. They will use school dreams to show where someone is spiritually. And sometimes they will show school dreams because they want me to understand something about a particular thing that is happening there. You understand? So school dreams is very important for healers and healers in training. It's very important. If you want to understand, you initiate, you understand them through the school dream, right? Because they will have to make you understand, depending on how your ancestors and the other person's ancestors communicate with your ancestors. So they will use the school dreams a lot. So don't get it confused with this big one. The one that we're talking about is big. When you finish, you have, everyone has to know within your family and in the community, they have to know you finish, you come back. You need to be celebrated. It is very important. Remember, as self-initiate, this is very important. This is when your ancestors are telling you that you need to be aware of this part of yourself. You should stop doubting yourself when they're saying you're ready to work. It means they're saying you're ready to work. There is no doubt there. Once they've taken you to Initiation School of Healers, when they bring you back, right, they will show you, we want you to do this for us, right? For others, they will say, we want you to do, we want to bring you home, right? So to bring you home, we want the whole community coming in. They'll show you even in the dream. Now the whole community are coming in your family home. They show you that they're going to want you to play drums. They're going to want you to do this. They want, if they're slaughtering people, they want you to slaughter this. They want you to do this. If, you know, that's when they're guiding you, because they have to teach you about this. This is what you're going to be doing, even when you're working with others. When you bring them home, we're going to do it like this, right? Now, start operating like this, my child. We are about to finish. You see, you're about to finish in that training, right? I'm not talking about the setting school dream. I'm talking about the Initiation School of Healers. Now they're telling you, we are finished. Your name is called this. The name of your Ndumba, remember that not all people have Ndumba names, because remember, different cultures operate differently, right? The name of your practice is called this. Excuse me. When I'm saying the name of a practice, the name of your initiation school, if you're going to be initiating others, is called this. When people are coming to your school, your initiation school, they will say, we are going to initiation school, right? Or if it is a different name, they will say, this is what it is called. It is called this, like saying you're going to London Primary School, right? Because that is your ancestors, they've given you the name. The name of the school you're going to be running to initiate other healers is called London Initiation School. Because they have to give you that information, right? Depending on the ancestors and the ones who are training. They'll give you the name themselves. Your name, if they've been calling you me, they started me with Ngaka, right? Ngaka. Now, if they want to add a different name for you, they want to call you a different name. Now, they will tell you that now your name, my child, now that you finished, you graduated, your name is this. Your name, you're going to represent yourself as this name. You're carrying this name because the people have to know that you are to be called by this name. You're no longer just Maidi. Everyone knows Maidi who has not gone to school, right? Now you're gonna be called. Remember that now I'm gonna be using Western things. You're gonna be called Dr. Tohulu, or you're gonna be called Her Majesty Tohulu, right? Because people have to know the kind of people you're carrying with you. Remember that when they're taking you to these schools, they are teaching you about how you're supposed to represent yourself, how you're supposed to represent yourself, carrying them, how you're supposed to represent yourself working with the community. So there are three things you're coming back with. You are no longer coming back as just yourself confused, right? You're coming back as a healer, representing yourself as a healer, representing your ancestors, representing the community that you're going to be working with. So those things they have been teaching you in that school. So when you come back, now they want to show, because those training, those initiation school of healers, the training that happens there, they're really serious. Sometimes you see, even when you wake up, if you be running there in the dream state, when you wake up, you're actually exhausted because things that were happening in that dream state were just too much. They exhaust you physically. When you wake up, you have no energy whatsoever. You wake up like with literally no nothing. So now they're showing you, we are appreciating the effort. You've done very well. Now you need to show everything, right? You need to show people that we didn't just send you to this country, or we didn't just send you to the mountain for a few months. We are coming back with this. Now show it. The community have to know who they're working with, right? So you, as a self-initiate, you have to outsource others to help you come back and show the community that now you're coming back as a healer. You, your ancestors, will be guiding you towards the people who will be helping you. Sometimes outsourcing as well, if they were just training you, the mentor comes in and out. So sometimes during that time, when it is about time, what they will do is that you will see that they will direct you towards someone, like you will like feel that you need to be. Remember that ancestors, the way they work is mysterious, right? So they can just take you, and you see yourself already within a week before you start getting ready to get your own big party of becoming a healer, right? Like a known kind of a healer by the community and the family. Remember that the family have to know. It's not a secret, this one. There's not going to be any secret when you come back from that. Secret, forget about them. So when you come back, remember that they have to show, right? So they will, within a week, they will be preparing you. They will even take you to others or send people to you who will be guiding you towards the big event, because it's going to be a big event, isn't it? What comes up or after that, a big event, depending on the ancestors. The big event for everyone, all ancestors will be fully helping the ancestors who will taking you to that particular school, because now you're coming in, they have to show, right? Ancestors coming in together. It's totally different. It's different. Yes, you'll be celebrated. So that is just that. I think that's all that I can give for now. Did I forget anything? Okay, I did talk about you'll be learning new things, right? New things. You'll be learning things about yourself. You'll be learning things about your culture. Is very important. Tradition is very important. Put my eye. It's very important. Do not get confused. Help others understand this as a self-initiate. It doesn't mean just because you are Musutu, you are Motswana, falls under that. You are Mzulu, you're Xhosa, you're Shona, you're Tsonga, you're Ndebele, you're Congolese, you're from Kenya. It doesn't mean that when you come back from that initiation school of healers, you have to operate as someone from Kenya, because the ancestors who have taken you there might have been Basotho ancestors from the southern bit of South Africa. So when you're coming back to your family or your community, they might get surprised because you might not be doing the same things that they're used to, because the people who were training you with different modalities altogether. It was nothing to do with what you know, what they know already. So you need to make them understand that as we are as people, because a lot of people get really confused, self-initiate, that is another obstacle to go into. The way we are as people, just because I speak a language that my people, my mother and my father speaks, doesn't mean the ancestors who are going to be training me, who are taking me to Initiation School of Healers, are going to be the ancestors that my ancestors are well aware of. They might be from way back, might come back with some things that they do not even understand. Speaking the language that do not understand. That is where you're going to be trancing in and out to explain things to them as a healer. You'll be dancing some things that they don't understand, singing some songs that they don't understand, because it's a language that they don't understand, right? So you're going to be dancing, trancing yourself, falling down, coming to explain. My ancestors are saying this, then going back and singing in the language that people don't understand. So you'll be trancing in and out as a self-initiated healer, because these are the things that they are making us aware of, that they are working like that. The language is like this, is not the usual one that you people are aware of. So that is why when we come in, sometimes we need to start from the family, right? Our ancestors, they'll give us the history of the family. So we will, from the history of the family, we will be teaching our family about the ancestors that they were not even well aware of. And the ancestors that they didn't even know that those people within the family, they were surgeons. They were like this. They were like that. They were like hunters. They were like warriors, soldiers, traditional soldiers. They were like kings and queens, because those are the history that we will be learning and teaching the family, our families, right? Physical families, about things we are learning within those dreams about ourselves, right? Because through the learning, we will always remember who we are, where we come from. We will not forget that beautiful selves. Through carrying on, continue with the rituals that our family used to do, right? The rituals our family, we will not get lost as a community. We will not get lost as societies. We will always do the right things, not be confused by others, right? That's why we're learning in those schools, those initiation schools. We're learning all those things so that when people are saying, our people were not good at this, in the school, you come back and make correction, correct them on the spot. When they're talking nonsense, you correct them, you tell them, my ancestors were good in this, because your ancestors were showing you that your ancestors, when someone was giving, because in those dreams they'll show you, especially if your ancestors, some of them were midwives, traditional midwives, they'll show you, if there's a bridge, if there's this, we will do this, my child, because now you cannot work with children, right? Like that, right? But if you were to work with children, you will do this. Now, if someone says something that is nonsense about your ancestors, you correct them, because you tell them, my ancestors knew how to do these kind of things. Right? And now, if you're good about it, you can even write about it. That is the information. You can write about it. That we used to do these things. Right? That is the thing, the reason why they're taking us there. So people don't get us confused with nonsense. We correct them on the spot. Marcos. Anyway, I think that is all I wanted to talk to you about. But the training process can take longer. It can take longer. I cannot say it can take 8 weeks. It can take 10 weeks. It can take like 20 weeks. When it comes to ancestors and the timeline. Each person is different. All healers are different. The way they are trained is different. The longer someone stays in the place doesn't necessarily mean anything other than her ancestors or his ancestors want them to learn for that long, right? It doesn't mean anything. So sometimes you might see yourself going there and you're just there maybe for 4 weeks because you've been training, right, for a long time. They've been taking you there a little bit and then taking you there a little bit and taking you there a little bit. But most of the people with mentors, when they're taking you there, so they'll make sure that they take you there for at least for the time that you're with that mentor, so that when you start, you know that you're starting. When you finish with that mentor, you know that you finish. Even your training is finished. So you have to go home and show people that you are coming back as a healer, because you were there as an initiation school of healers, right? You finish. It is not your mentor who says you're finished. It is your ancestors who says you're finished. It is your ancestors. This one is ancestors. You cannot even undermine them. It's ancestors who will tell you that you're ready now to go and work with the community, if they're taking you during the time you're with your mentor. All right. Okay. Yes. We've done that. Someone make a license plate that reads Gaga GP Danke. Okay, that's beautiful. All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Yes. When you see, okay, I'm going backwards, isn't it? When you see beads to you, wash them first, or just tell them ancestors you got them, then you wear them. I saw a motor number plate. Okay, all right. Okay, all right. Yes. So remember that when you have those kind of things, different beads work differently for different ancestors. They will show you. If it is the beads that they want you to just wear, they will show you wearing the beads. Because remember that as soon as they show you the beads, if you buy them and you show them, my ancestors, these are the beads. They'll be okay with it. But if it's the beads that you need to take to the water, they will show you as well that you need to take the beads to the water, right? They will show you. When the way they show you the beads, they will show you that those beads, they need to be in the water first before you wear them. Meaning that you need to take them to the river and then come back and wear them. They will show you. As self-initiated, they show us everything in detail. When I'm saying in detail, I mean that in detail. They'll show you a little bit of clip, but you go back to them and make sure you're letting them know you understand this. Then they show you that we mean it like this, right? The same way as if you're seeing something, a candle you don't understand. Am I supposed to light this candle or just put it there for you? What am I supposed to do? Your ancestors will show you. If not in dreams, they will show you a vision of a candle lit. A candle that is actually talking about candle that is lit. I need to light my one. So they will show you that. Yes, they will show you that someone lighting a candle or someone wearing beads like that. So corrections will be done on the spot. Remember that as a self-initiate is very important, and that's why they will teach you as well how much you need to charge people. Yes, for consultation for your ancestors. They will teach you. My child, for us, we want you to charge people like this. It's not necessarily that what you will do sometimes. Sometimes we think our ancestors, the things that they want us to do, might not necessarily correspond with what is happening in real life, right? You might want to think about what is actually happening and how's the expenses like. But what I'm trying to say is that if your ancestors want you to charge to charge people for the service, they will show you that we want you to charge people for the service. They will show you, your ancestors. You don't need to go around asking, how much are you doing this? Ancestors, when they are ready, remember that when you're still training, they might not want you to charge people. They might want you to give people services for free, right? And if you start charging when they don't want you, people won't come. They'll disappear. Or even ancestors, they wouldn't even make any presents when people are there. But when they want you to charge, they will show you. Remember, I self-initiate everything. You're guided by your ancestors. Everything, every little thing. You're guided by your ancestors. So they will show you. When you're ready to initiate others as well, they'll show you. They'll show you that you're ready to initiate others. Not you thinking that you want to compete with other healers. Oh, I just finished. I've just come back home. I'm a healer now. I've got Indumba and stuff like that. Now I can start initiating others. They won't come. And if they come, they won't stay. If your ancestors, they are not ready for that, they wouldn't come, they wouldn't stay. Your ancestors are the ones who are going to make that, they're going to open that line for you. So what we see happening in real life with others, when you're self-initiating, they don't happen like that. Everything is your ancestors. They will do things themselves the way they want. They will bring other people to you. They will seek people to come to you for them to teach you how to train others. That is self-initiate. The way they were showing you in the dream state, they will now bring them physically for you. I don't know how to put this. This is the most beautiful thing when you're on this spiritual path. To see happening is the most beautiful thing. So don't worry about things that you cannot foresee, because your ancestors have already foreseen them for you. So being patient is what is needed in this path. So you just need to be patient with yourself. Everything will be revealed. Beautiful things will be revealed as time goes on. That is the training. When the training is finished, you need to make the do. The do has to be as directed by the ancestors, the way they show it to you in the dream state, that they want it to be like that. It has to be like that. It just has to be like that. It doesn't have to be what you copy and paste. It has to be as instructed, as directed by the ancestors. They want it to be done like this, because that is how they teach you, not how others teach you. Ancestors, they teach you, we want it like this. I'm talking about when you come back from initiation school of healers. You're not going to copy and paste what Makosi do, right? How Makosi does it. Your ancestors will show you how they want theirs done. What you're going to be wearing as well. You might want to put some things, because obviously we see others, right? We want to look a little bit, right? Better. But your ancestors would have directed you, we want you to wear this on the day. We want you to play these drums on the day. Now, they're gonna make you listen to the beats that they want you to play. They're gonna make the songs is always gonna come. The music is gonna come. The songs are gonna come for you. They'll bring them. If you are the singing one, the sangoma kind of line, you're doing that way. Don't worry, the songs will come. But if it's not, you're not gonna be singing and stuff like that. It will come the way they want. They'll direct it the way they want it. Remember that we don't know. I'm talking about sangomas, because sangomas, like the others will dance like this. We don't know that your ancestors from Cameroon, how they do their things, right? So we don't know how your ancestors from Malawi, how they do their things. We don't know your ancestors from Ivory Coast, how they do their things, right? When they are showing off that we've got, our child is now going to be working with the community, we're going to do our things like this. So they will show it to you in the dream state, how they're going to do their things. And they're going to tell you the name of whatever do that you're going to be doing. It is called this, my child. So you just have to make us, some of us who are interested in other people's do's, know what it is that you're doing, because we might be shocked, because we don't know that, we've never seen things like that. The ones you'll be doing, which is beautiful. So that is all. So we'll talk about dreams another time. And yes, so just remember, as a self-initiate, remember this. Please remember this. And I'm representing ancestors. You should go back to your ancestors, your own ancestors. Here, from this channel, what you're doing is just trying to, I was making you aware of other things that happen to a lot of self-initiate. Remember, the people who are supposed to be guiding you on this path, it is your own ancestors. Your own ancestors, because my ancestors cannot know your cannot know a lot about you than your ancestors. Please do not undermine your ancestors. You have an issue, you go back to your own ancestors. You need to go back to them because they know you better than I will know you. They know you better than my ancestors will know you. It is your ancestors. Please reach out to them. They are there for this reason. They are there to guide you. They are the ones sending you the messages, the dreams, right? They are the ones doing that. They are the ones, remember that in those dreams, in the dreams, those people who are in those dreams, in the dream setting, right? Whether at school, whether in restaurant, it is you and your ancestors. Sometimes they use other people's faces. It is your ancestors using the people that you know, their faces in those dreams. Sometimes it's reality, right? They're showing you about reality. But remember, we all play a role. Your family members, your friends, we are a community, soul families. So in dreams, we will come help you as a healer to be. We will come help you with the messages that your ancestors want to give you, meaning that your ancestors, they'll use our faces. So that we can play the role of helping you become a better version of yourself. So please, every information, anything, any worries, any question should be directed towards those people who are working very hard. Just imagine someone you telling someone about something, saying something is like this, and someone just, a friend of yours, you're telling your friend that don't cross the road. Your friend just hears someone else saying, don't cross the road. For you, they didn't listen to you. They want to listen to the other person that they don't know. Don't cross the road. Imagine how undermining that is. It's undermining. So we should not undermine our ancestors. We should listen to them. Others will come like this support system, becoming a support system to help your ancestors, but we do not take the role of your ancestors. We just come in to help you to help you go back to them. That's very important, to help you go back to them. We have been making mistakes of taking what other people's ancestors are saying without understanding what our ancestors are saying. So self-initiate means that our ancestors, they want us to go back to the original sender of the message. The people who will make you understand their messages very well in pure form, not diluted. Like you see, I'm explaining things that happens with me and the people that I'm working with. I'm giving you information that is already diluted. I was taken to school like that. I help people who go to school like that. It is diluted information. It's coming in as second-hand. Your ancestors will give you first-hand information, right? It's not diluted. Me coming here, maybe I've had issues, stressed, and then I start with my stress, I start diluting information. Your ancestors will give you information pure as it's supposed to come, pure for you. So listen to them and go back to them. And unless if they've given you permission to seek help from others, that's when you do it. Otherwise, please don't undermine them.